Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, doing my guide for Pragmata Lunatic difficulty. Today we're doing Sector 3 entitled Terra Dome. So this is going to be the plant forest area. And not a bad one, really, to be fair, actually. I remember when I first played this one, acting like it was so long ago, right? When I first played this sector, I remember thinking like, oh man, this one's kind of long, it's kind of annoying. I mean, same thing with Sector 2, to be fair. Like, I remember thinking that one was kind of long and obnoxious. But no, it's about the same-ish when it comes to Sector 2. And right now, all I'm doing is just showing you that I did go back. I did get some stuff, just showing what I have right now. In case I did grind. Because I think I probably did maybe grind even just a little bit. Or at least, well, I know what I did. I did the challenges. I did the challenges off screen. And I showed you guys that I had the coins for the bingo stuff. And then I think from here on out, I'm just going to go ahead and do the bingo stuff myself and show you the aftermath of what you unlock and what have you. Which, to be fair, again, you know, if you're just keeping consistent with grabbing things like the REM stuff, if you're doing challenges on your own, you should be fine in terms of getting the coins and getting upgrades. So, that aspect of this guide doesn't matter as much. And here again, it's just showcasing that, look, I've got new upgrade components. I can upgrade a couple of things. That way nobody's left in the dirt, I guess. And yeah, just keep up with the consistency of upgrading your stuff and what have you. Because to be fair, most of this game relies on what type of weaponry you have and what type of modes and modifications or hacking tools you have at your disposal to take care of whatever situation might arise, but most fights in this game typically can be fought in a multiple amounts of different ways, which is what's really cool about it. But again, I'm just kind of showing you guys what I do when I fight these guys. So, I don't want to take everything to heart, because I really don't want to have another Dante's Inferno guide on my hands where somebody states that they're... I know I bring this one up too much, I really shouldn't, but hey, you know, Pragmata is kind of a bit of a casual guide currently. I think I can talk about things where they followed along to a T. That's what was stated. And I had things that they apparently didn't have. I had certain upgrades they must not have had. I had certain ways of playing that they didn't have, or something like that along those lines. I don't mean to try to make the comment sound like it was, you know, wrong, or like I'm not trying to get the comment wrong. Basically stating that, you know, I followed your guide to a T. Essentially, I had everything you had, and I did everything you did, but yet you still are doing better than I am at this, or you have things that I don't seem to have. You must be cheating. So you must have switched the difficulty mid-game or something. Even if I don't know. It's still weird to me. It's still... I know, it's like one of those things where it's like, hey man, you know, don't let shit like that get to you, but it's kind of hard not to when even I'm kind of questioning, like, did I accidentally go back and change difficulty without realizing? Because that can happen. And that's why having difficulty sliders that can be changed mid-game kind of sucks and something I'm terrified of. But this game does not do that, though, actually, in fact. So, you're kind of stuck with it unless you're playing on normal. And these guys right here, I forget their exact names, but the hats are the weak point, so that's where you want to shoot at. And they're relatively pretty simple to fight on their own. But when you have to fight multiples of them, that's when it gets kind of aggressive. They have a sort of charging laser frontward attack, and dodging that's pretty simple. You just dodge to the side, and you should be alright. So, I usually just double dodge pretty much for everything, regardless. But that's kind of the key aspect of them. Now I'm bringing up old things that, once again, you know, it's like, man, you're letting these things affect your brain. You do realize that you're letting that person win. You're getting one guide by nothing. And it's funny, too, it's not even just one guy. It's one guy for that thing, but I've had other people in the past have said other ridiculous statements before, or accusations before, on the channel. And it's like, come on, man. But I kind of just chalk that up to, and I don't mean to be unprofessional about this, but because I do want to help people, you know, with guides and stuff. I do actually look out, even if they're angry at me for not having whatever. I did go back and I did tell them, like, oh, well, maybe you might be missing some of these things, if possible. But, you know, as usual, no response back when I'm trying to give you information. And then, I don't know, man, you know, maybe I'm crazy, but, I don't know. I'm still trying to help even though they hate me. So, it's just how I am, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just one of those things that, you know, I'm kind of scared about accidentally messing something up without even realizing it anymore. And that's partly why the hardcore and marathon kind of started to begin with, which, you know, I was going to do Metroid today, but I kind of forgot. So, honestly, some good things came out of it. Alright, 2 walkers. You know how it goes. A couple walker Texas Rangers. You know how to deal with them. It's not that... They're not that difficult at this point in the game. Especially if you've been playing a normal, or even Lunatic for that matter. Like, walkers are very, very basic enemy types. They only have pretty much 1, maybe 2 attacks, if even that. And they have such a wind-up of that attack to begin with. It's like, oh yeah, I know you're about to hit me with something. But it ain't gonna work, buddy, because I'll just dodge back and I'll be fine. Oh, I should also mention that this is the first half of Terra Dome. I'm going to be doing another 2-parter for this one, specifically, because it's got some length. Also, in order to get these key cards, you're going to have to fight enemies to gain access to it, because unfortunately I can't do anything with him there. This is, I think, called the Impeder, if I'm not mistaken. I think these ones are the Impeder enemy types. They shoot out these electric mines that stick, that pretty much just stun you for a bit, and they'll come up to you and try to do like a close quarters attack. Usually I end up getting out of the stun. There's nothing to really get out of the stun with. You just have to kind of wait it off. And I usually get out of it just in time before they attack. I think they've only ever hit me with it a couple of times. But something to be kind of worried about is just watch out mainly for the mines and just take them out as you see fit. Because, once again, fighting one singular enemy at a time in a game like this is not that difficult. So, you got really nothing to technically worry about. It looks like I'm still using the gunfire node before I even realize that there's actually another node I could be using with the combustion mode. I think I might end up using that one this chapter. I do it sometime soon, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, there's a visible wall right there, and then if you come back around here, I mean, you got an upgrade component you can grab, and you also have the hacking module on the side that you can just go ahead and take care of, which will knock down the lasers, for you to go back inside and get your other upgrade component as well. Yeah, I kind of always tend to forget that this is here until I run through the walls, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, something else too. We do actually fight a boss. We actually fight a... I guess you could call it a mid-boss. Doesn't really happen very often in a game like this, weirdly enough, but you fight the Sector Guard, I guess Mark II or whatever. Well, you fight the Sector Guard again. You fight the first boss again, so... Think of it like the Vanquisher, or whatever it's called, from Demon Souls, where you fight, you have the, well, it's not the same exact thing, because you have the option to fight him in the first game, but basically the Asylum Demon. There you go, the Asylum Demon. It's your tutorial boss, your big, giant tutorial boss guy, and then after that, you can fight him again, but unfortunately for this one, it's not optional either way. Alright, so this red door is a little confusing at first, and I understand, but you don't really need to go down there in the laser area. That's mostly just kind of there if you end up falling down. And I didn't know that, but luckily I figured this place out. Because, you know, first playthrough, I played it, fell down there, or just went down there first, realized there's nothing down here besides just lasers, so, yeah. First things first, attack the drone guy, just to get rid of him, because his range is incredible. And unfortunately, I don't have the range exactly to deal with him that far, unfortunately, but still. And then this guy will usually just not aggro nearly as hard if you run away too far. And same thing with a lot of enemies, actually. Enemies don't typically have very long range of aggro, believe it or not. You'll even see it, I think, in this chapter. You'll have moments where a walker is walking toward me or something, and then he just backs up. Or not even just that, like one of the big, you know, fat round bouncer shield enemy guys, you know, they'll just kind of back up and not even bother with the fight anymore because he's just like, he's too far. It's not like Dark Souls 2, you know, where they chase you down into the goddamn 3rd or 4th level and there's still the enemies from the first area. But luckily these guys are pretty easy to take out on their own. And just, you know, even if you do fall down, climb back up, because, well, that's where the fight's at. But not only that, but you'll be relatively fine, to be fair. It's not... Thankfully, it's not too difficult to get through this part, actually. And I mentioned this before in the last episode of this, but red doors are never really extremely difficult to begin with. This game feels as if it was made primarily for the market of, you know, I mean, if you want a somewhat of a challenge, yes, these rooms do have challenge in them, but they're not anything crazy. They're kind of, I don't want to say it's a casual game, because it really isn't exactly fully casual focused, but it definitely has the idea of being a very high marketable game in mind, I feel. So they probably did kind of not want to go too hard in certain cases. But then again, you know, they give people like me who want to actually go out of the way to get extra stuff the chance to do that, so that's awfully nice of them to do. Like is with most games. I don't know why I'm explaining things like a 5-year-old. Or like I'm explaining things to a 5-year-old. And here I fall down on accident, but I was going to come down here anyway. And there's your upgrade point. Yeah, if you ever do end up falling down, it's not really that big of a deal because you can just go ahead and just resupply on stuff, if need be. People typically won't aggro down here, so you're fine. At most, I guess, if anything, if you happen to get too close to the missile drone guys, they will launch missiles from pretty much just wherever, so that's one thing to worry about. But if you fall down anytime between then, you should be okay. And even then, still, when they launch missiles, which they launch like 2 at a time, it seems, send them right back, and they're not really that much of a threat. You can just kind of pick these guys off at a distance and let them just kill themselves at that point. So, yeah, this is probably the worst part of it, though, is having to deal with one of these guys with little to no room. Although you can just kind of avoid him, because I don't think he's going to chase you down. But if you do avoid him, and you run past him first, you're going to have to deal with these guys up here, too. So, it's recommended you take everybody out just one at a time, essentially. Which, going back to it again, is kind of the name of the game, it seems, you know. Oh, there's 4 drones. That's why there's 4 missiles. I keep thinking they launch 2 at a time. For some reason. I guess I keep thinking, like, oh, they're like a Mark II version, so they're probably launching 2. And luckily, this area does give us a nice sniper rifle to have on hand, because those are really good against the drones, too. Does a ton of damage. And look at that. Already got 2 overdrives in just one singular room. Because, again, you know, if you play the game kind of the way that they really want you to, you'll get a hell of a benefit from hacking. So it's worth doing. Pretty much at all times. Just keeping a consistent hacking rate. Yeah, I know. Once again, I'm explaining things as if nobody else knew. But, I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about a game where a lot of the fights don't really tend to be super hard. There are fights that are hard, yes, but there's never a moment where, or there's, I don't know, there's a lot of huge in-between moments, I guess, or whatever you want to call them. Things where things just kind of happen, and they're not too difficult to deal with. And even right now, I mean, they have lasers on the bottom of the ground where there's no enemies at. Somebody on Pragmata's dev team, whoever was coming up with this red door area, thought to themselves, yeah, let's put lasers down there. Well, I mean, to be fair, on a first playthrough, it's like, well, I should probably go down that way because there's probably something back there. Well, there's probably enemies. Only then to find out there's not. So then it kind of just gets defeated the moment that you're playing a second playthrough, because it's like, well, why would I ever want to go down there anymore until it's over? So, yeah, maybe it's a first-time beginner trap, but that's about it. And that's kind of weird, because I don't feel like this game ever really does it that much. Yeah, I know, it's kind of funny. I praise this game, but at the same time, I give it shit, you know? But hey, if you love a game, or at least in my case, I love this game, I'm fine with criticizing it. I want it to do better. I want it to be really good. I love it. And I do love it for what it is, too, by the way. I'm just saying that, you know, after, God, who knows how long, of playing games on hard, a decade now. Well, I mean, it's been a decade plus. I didn't start hardcoring. Well, I started hardcoring back in 2015, God forbid. And I've been playing God mode before then for God of War. So, whatever. I'm pretty sure God mode was the first one I did. Chains of Olympus God mode was the first ever hard mode I've ever beaten, as far as I'm aware. And that started it all. And to be fair, Chains of Olympus is not... It's nothing. I mean, honestly, if like a 15-year-old kid who doesn't play games on hard, like naturally at all, can beat it, that tells you something. It tells you something's up with that game. Still a good game at the end of the day. A decent hard mode, of course, but it's easy. Easier than a lot of other things, I guess. But like I was saying in the last part as well, I got Stockholm Syndrome or something with these games because when I'm playing a game that doesn't ever super challenge me all the time, it feels weird now. Like I'm not allowed. You know, it's like that. It's like that really nice family member. Like imagine if you get like a step family member, and they're like super nice to you all the time. They never yell at you. They never say anything mean about you, or even, God forbid, even tease you. Nothing like that. It's like, the fuck is happening? What is wrong? Like, you just kind of expect, like, it feels fake, you know? Like, this difficulty sometimes just feels fake. It's weird. But then you get hit by the bosses, or even some parts of the game, and it's like, what the... It's like a huge whiplash. Like, whoa, when did the game get hard all of a sudden? And then it goes back to like, oh, it's not hard anymore. Like, even right here. You know, this guy was not paying attention at all. He wasn't aggroed at all. I was fighting a walker right next to him, and dude just stood there and didn't even notice I was there. Like, you know, what the hell? But I guess one thing I hate to talk about, because, you know, this is a great fine game. As it's perfectly polished, I'm perfectly fine with it. But if they, God forbid, they ever came to me and they said, hey, Alex, what do you think we should do for a hard mode? I mean, I would, man, if I'm blushing just even thinking about it. It's like, man, if, the only one thing I can probably tell you to change at all, if I can give you one thing to change at all, add more enemies in the normal fights. I mean, you can add more enemies in the red doors too if you wish, but mainly just like areas like this. I'll make their aggro a lot more aggressive and make them a lot faster for attacks too. Make them. I said one thing, and the one thing only would just be add more enemies in normal roundabout fights and stuff. Because there's really not a lot to deal with on hard. It just seems like, oh, I just deal with one at a time and I'm good. You're never really surrounded too often to where it feels completely unfair and difficult. But God, I mean, you guys did a great job on the boss fight, so I can tell you that. No doubt. So, I'll give you that one for sure, no doubt. And the rest of the game's cool as hell. But yeah, you can see right now, like, I could be telling you guys, yeah, this is the Mark II version. I mean, you don't have to fight him at all. You don't have to fight anybody in here if you don't want to. You can, except for a few of them. Some of them will have the gen key around, but you can kind of get away with just avoiding most of these fights, especially him. And he does give you a decent amount of limb whenever you kill him, too, so... And, of course, whenever you get the chance, take that finisher to get yourself some extra money. Even if it doesn't kill, you still get extra money out of it, so you might as well take it. Yeah, all we're doing for this part is we're just going to go around and grab all the gen chips and then fight the sector guard once again. And that's pretty much about it. And then we have to fight what I consider to be the hardest boss, besides, like, the final boss, which I don't remember how hard that final boss was. I remember it being difficult on normal, but so was this boss too, so we'll have to wait and see now, won't we? But the last boss does have some things that give you some crap, no doubt. Alright, break time. Time to drink some tea, some coffee, eat your granola bars, whatever you got, because you're going to be here for about a couple minutes, watching me just upgrade and get coins and what have you. And we're already halfway-ish through the video. Nice. A little over half, I guess, but still. I thought that crossbow for a second was Hugh's head. It looked weird. Do we get a bingo? No, because it's blocked off with a dang red door. I don't have money to upgrade. But I do have one of the giant, big, whatever they're called again. I forget, but like the big, giant limited things. What did I buy? Fast moves. Okay, so fast moves is pretty dang important for, well, it's not necessary, but it's something I highly recommend you get, because it will basically allow you to have witch time when you dodge at the right time. There's actually a mod you can get that will allow you to have like basically more leniency on when it activates. So if that's something you want to wait, it comes later, but that's something that you can get. And right there, I equip the healing faster and healing, not necessarily. Yeah, I think it's just healing faster mod, because you know it's damn slow, but it's not super slow. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I quit. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I don't really need max health. Because you get decent upgrades for your health anyway, and besides, just don't get hit, you know, you'll be fine. I know that sounds obvious, but that's just kind of like with any hard game in general. It's just like, well, don't get hit, and you'll be alright. Alright, so I gotta fight one of these guys again, but luckily I did recharge just in time. Now, this room's kind of fun, too, because it has a gimmick to it, where they're gonna send down lightning shocks every once in a while. And if you have the decoy gun, you can lead them, or even just, you know, lead yourself into them, whichever you want to do. You can lead enemies into the hazard area. I thought that was a hack module for a second. Yeah, just try to get them to get hit by lightning, and you'll be okay. So that's my pro tip of the day: is yeah, let them get hit by lightning. And it does cause, I guess, shock or something. Well, it does open them up. If they get hit by the lightning, it does open them up, so you can either get extra hacking going, or at the very least, just whatever you want to get going, I guess. Hitting weak points, that sort of thing. But once you're done with the room, they do stop with the hazards, which is nice. Something, yet again, that they totally thought through. No doubt. Like, you can tell, like, this game was... I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm being genuine when I say that. Like, they definitely thought about seemingly every fight. It feels. Alright, so I did pick up multi-hack, which is nice, but once again, we do have the lightning storm we can use, and that's why I put the decoy there, because it was just right on the spot. And even though it's nice to have multi-hack, because at least then I can use the riot blaster to just knock them on the ground, and if I'm lucky enough, maybe hit them with another lightning strike yet again. And I usually just go for finishers because of two reasons. 3, just, massive damage, kill them off. That's one reason. That's one singular reason. More money. And 2, it actually has knockback on it, believe it or not. You'll notice that sometimes whenever you do it on an enemy, enemies that are surrounding him will actually get knocked back too. Or get knocked on the ground for like a few seconds. That gives you just enough time to kind of breathe a little bit if you're surrounded, so... Something else to kind of go for when you're fighting these guys is just focus on trying to get the finishers as quick as possible, too. For a plethora of reasons. And there's me just trying to think, like, wait a minute, how do I hack this? But you can just see how nice most fights are in this game when it comes to just letting you do things. However, once again, the bosses, though, that's pure panic mode for me. Like, my God, I'm just freaking out the entire time, being like, oh, I gotta do this quick, he's not gonna be open for very long, and I gotta make this quick. Beautiful. Love it. Love to see it. And then you get one of these guys, and I think that's it, actually. Good thing I stunned him right in the right spot. Let's hope he gets hit by lightning. Sure did. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it attacks where you are at that last moment. So I think that's how that works. For the lightning strikes, though. So don't quote me on that, but I feel like that's how it's going. And don't worry, I do eventually discover that sticky bombs are pretty useful. So, well, they're pretty nice to have. And then a lot of these things around the field you can't grab yet. You have to wait until after chapter 4. No. Sorry. I keep calling them chapters. You have to wait until after sector 5. So the experimental pragmatics area. That's technically sector 5. And I don't think I ever finished talking about that, but like people, there's weird things for it, because like people just skip sector 5 entirely without even explaining what sector 5 even was. Yeah, look how long that laser shot is. It's ridiculous. That's why you have to dodge to the side. You can't just back dodge, because if you do that, you're probably going to get hit, though. Unfortunately. It's really annoying. But, oh, I even got scared there. Almost like I was playing the game for a second. I got so enamored with my own gameplay. Oh, I felt that one. Yeah, shotguns usually work pretty well against a lot of enemies, because it might have some knockback to it, depending on who you're fighting. If they're more of a humanoid enemy. Like, guys like this, not really. I mean, it might have some it might have some stun to it, but normal humanoid guys, it definitely does quite a bit of stuff to them, which is really nice. And right now, I'm just trying to build up anything, really. I'm just trying to hack him and just do damage and just keep him consistently hacked. And then, look at this. You see this right here? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. They will de-aggro if you go too far out, which gives you more time to hit them. Now, as useful of a tool that is, it's not something I end up actually using very often, but it's something you have the chance to use yourself. So do bear that in mind. If you're ever struggling with a fight... Did I forget to grab the stuff in there? I did, didn't I? You idiot. Or no, I think I got mixed around. That's what it was. I got confused. But yeah, if a non-boss fight is giving you grief, and a non-fight where you're kind of stuck in lockdown, you can de-aggro enemies and then just move away. But that only ever works for enemies out in the field, though, so it's not necessarily something great all the time, but it does work when you might want it to. And back... Oh, no, sorry. I thought I was going to be back to the shelter. But nope, we got, I think, 2 chips. And then I forgot to grab the 3rd chip because I forgot where it was for a second. Which is funny because I think it's just right down there, too. Like, right nearby. It's right where the samurai guy was. I know that's not what they're called, but that's what they look like. They got the samurai hat type thing going on, so... Pretty quick grab, and then we just head up and go fight the sector guard yet again, but this time with actual mooks in the fight, too, so... Still not the hardest of fights, but definitely can give you some challenge if you're not careful. Alright, head back to the shelter if you need to regenerate, which I did. Oh, I didn't cut this part out. I did die, and you'll have to see me climb the tree again, I'm sorry. Yeah, my dumbass kind of forgot to edit that. Unless... Yeah, I even looked at it too. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no shelter pothole or whatever it's called in this, or manhole or whatever. There's no checkpoint back there at all. I have to go fight the boss in order to do that. So that's why I ran right back, and you're gonna see an edit somewhere in here, maybe. I think it's spliced at the very end. Do I buy anything cool? Probably not. Oh, I get confused finally. I get that added to my inventory, which is nice. Confuse, freeze, and I finally get compost mode, which Again, it took me a while to kind of realize it's not a bad thing to have, actually. I think I ended up trying it out. Recursive learning, that's the 15% gauge when successfully committing a hack, is actually pretty useful, too. That's something I do end up keeping. Extended breach as well is something I highly recommend, just to keep people open for much longer. And then, freeze and confuse are really good mods. And here I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, heat buildup. I probably could use that, actually. Oh yeah, what about the stasis net so that you can deal with the onslaught of mooks? And then preferably shockwave for the shotgun. Either or is fine. Either go for the rifle or the shockwave, but I personally prefer shockwave just because of the possible knockback if people get too close to me. And this might sound weird, but don't focus on the boss itself. Instead, focus on the mooks first. Once you get rid of them, then, prioritize the boss. Mainly because he just does the same attacks he did before. And by now, you kind of already should know how to deal with them. So, if not, you can watch me deal with it. I can show you what I do. So, like I said, having stasis net is pretty useful. And I also just go ahead and whip out the shield first thing first so I can start doing some hacks and just get rid of whoever. Even though the shield doesn't last very long, unfortunately. But yeah, also look at that. The heat buildup from the shockwave is ridiculous. And that's going to come in handy. Because it really builds up heat quick for these guys. I've noticed. Get hit there on accident, but realize, yeah, I should probably shield back up again because mine's gone. And luckily the shield itself should protect you from the missiles. But I think it protects you... It protects you from the dash at least once. It should. I just don't know what exactly destroyed it, to be fair. Alright, but yeah, like, right there, again, mooks, not that difficult to deal with. Thankfully, if you just use stasis net to keep him down, and then after that, it's just mainly fighting the boss. And his weak point is on his back, so just try to either wait for him to charge and have his back exposed that way, or maybe go for, like, freeze. If you have any freeze mods on, use them on him. Or even, in this case, confuse mods too. Even though he's confused, he still will attack, but he does make it a lot more easy for him to be open to attacks. And I didn't even realize this was even happening. He got stuck on a wall for a second there and kind of fudged himself out of hitting me with anything, which is kind of nice. And Charge Piercer, really good for the back attacks. So is Shockwave. I'm not sure if that's always going to be an overdrive, but that's something else I should probably mention too. Come into this fight with overdrive if you can. And probably preferably use overdrive once you've taken all the mooks first, so then you can focus on him. Because again, you want to make him like the main focus after a while, but you don't need to focus on him, until they're gone, so... Unless you do a lot of damage with overdrive, I wouldn't bother with it. Because, like, if they don't kill off the mooks, I wouldn't worry too much. And this is just like a three-wave missile shot. Nothing too hard to avoid. He just does it within a couple of, rows. It's nothing too hard. And then while he's down, it's going to get a couple of pop shots in, just get some extra damage, and then go for the finisher. And yes, even though I understand that this fight itself takes quite a bit to take down, it's thankfully not super hard, especially with all the guns that you can get in the fight itself to help you make it somewhat a bit easier. So, there's that. And he only has mainly 2 moves, if anything. He's got that charge thing, which he can do like 3 times, so watch out for that too. And he doesn't have... Technically, he doesn't really have a second phase like he did before. Although, I guess you could say like the halfway health probably activates a sort of second phase, kind of. But it's weird. Because, they don't do the thing where they did in the first fight where they show off that he... Okay, I guess if anything, this is the second phase. Alright, so lightning strikes activate in the second phase. That's what it was. Because we don't have the overdrive thing to show off here, so that's why I didn't think there was going to be one, but I guess there was. Now, the lightning strikes are going to be pretty dang helpful. And if you have decoy, which I only had shield on so I can get some hacks going in the beginning of the fight and not have to deal with him. If you're more confident than I am and you have decoy, you could just put decoy down. Or just get it randomly like I did. Put decoy down in front of one of the lightning strikes and let him get hit by it instead. Now, he can destroy the decoy itself, though, so be careful of that, too. But him getting hit by lightning is actually going to be pretty damn helpful. And this is pretty easy to avoid, so, you know, just do as you see fit. And don't be like me and just accidentally waste your decoy when he's barraging you with missiles, like I did there. Just an unfortunate timing on my end. And the rest of the fight's pretty much just dwindling him down until he's dead, so... Yeah, I know. It's nothing super exciting, but it's just how it is. This guy doesn't do a lot of stuff. He's pretty dang easy to dodge. And on top of that, you got the lightning strikes to help you out a little bit to kind of keep him, you know, open for hacks and getting some decent damage. I'm hearing some weird noises right now. I don't know why. I mean, it sounds like somebody's vacuuming outside, but I can't tell. Yeah, this is pretty much it for the rest of the fight, is just this. Just letting him do his missiles. Which, by the way, when he does his missile barrage, you kind of want to wait for the third barrage to start going in and start getting behind him and hack him. So that way you don't accidentally get attacked by a whole barrage. And this deletes at least one part of the health bar. It should. Looks like he got shocked right there, too. Hit by lightning right in the middle of the finisher, too, which is nice. Maybe. I guess not. Never mind. That was close. It's funny, because like, that little noise I hear outside almost sounds like it's the missiles going off in the game. It's weird. I know it's not from my computer, though. I can tell you that. Alright, got an overdrive once again. You can use it, you know. Whenever you get overdrive in this fight, just use it. You can always build it back up out of the next boss if you wish. It's not too hard to get, so. Typically, when it comes to boss fights in this game, I do highly recommend that you come in them with overdrive full. So that way you have it whenever you need it. If things get a little sticky, or if you just want to start off with it, or even wait till the halfway point. But then again, you know, if you have good, you know, hacking nodes, or not nodes, but hacking mods and stuff like that to help you get more gauge like I did, then that'll help out a ton. That's what this game's all about, you know, it's just building up your character to have a good build and using that to defeat bosses and stuff, so. And he's basically down. And like I said, he can charge maybe possibly 3 times, so that's something to be a little bit worrisome about. He'll usually typically do twice, but you never know. There's always... Hey, you know, if he has a chance to take it, he's going to do it. So, that's my fair warning to you. This is just a wall, invisible wall back here. Get some cool stuff. And then we're just going to bet the shelter. Upgrade whatever, if I even can. And then call that a part. And then we'll see you guys for the next part. Oh, actually, we have to go back here first. I'm going to get this next suit upgrade. I forgot about that. Yeah. We're going to end it early. I'll see you guys for the next part when we take on the actual boss of this sector. Until then, take care, everybody.